I used to have a waist. I know that sounds strange to say, but I did. For 40-something years I had a waist. And then, seemingly overnight, it just disappeared. I remember the exact moment I realized it, getting dressed for my niece's wedding. The dress I had ordered fit perfectly everywhere else, but around my middle, it was like my body had been replaced with someone else's. I sucked in. I adjusted. I wore shapewear that felt like armor, and I spent the entire reception feeling like everyone was staring at my stomach. The worst part? I had been doing sit-ups every single morning, planks, crunches, all the things the fitness magazines promised would flatten your belly. They lied. Not intentionally maybe, but those exercises, those tips, those workouts designed for 25-year-olds, they weren't designed for bodies like ours, bodies dealing with shifting hormones, cortisol spikes at 3 a.m., and a metabolism that seems to have its own agenda now. I was fighting a battle with the wrong weapons. When I finally understood what was actually happening inside my body during menopause, why fat was suddenly storing differently, why my old fitness routine was actually making things worse, everything changed. You deserve to know the truth about your belly. Not the Instagram version, not the outdated fitness advice, the real science of what's happening inside you right now. Because once you understand it, you can finally work with your body instead of against it. Keep watching. This might change everything.
Everything you've been told about fitness and menopause belly is wrong. And as a former nutritionist, I'm embarrassed to say I believed it too. For 20 years, I gave advice to women. Eat less, exercise more, push through the pain. And when they couldn't lose weight, I secretly wondered if they were cheating on their diets, if they just lacked willpower. Then I hit menopause myself. And suddenly, all that advice I'd been giving, it didn't work. Not for me. Not anymore. Today, I'm exposing 5 fitness myths that are keeping you stuck with menopause belly. These aren't just ineffective during this phase of life. They're actually making your situation worse. And once you understand why, everything changes. But I have to warn you, some of this might make you angry, because you've been working so hard, following all the rules, and the rules themselves were wrong. Let me start by telling you something important. That belly fat that appeared after menopause, it's not your fault. It's not because you got lazy. It's not because you love food too much. It's not because you lack discipline. Your body changed the rules without telling you, and no one gave you the updated playbook. I remember the moment I realized everything I believed was wrong. I was 51 years old, standing on a scale after 6 weeks of strict dieting and daily exercise. I had gained 4 pounds. 4 pounds, while eating 1,200 calories and exercising an hour every day. I called my best friend crying, 20 years as a nutritionist, and I couldn't lose weight. I felt like the biggest fraud in the world. That phone call was the beginning of my real education, the one that took me from Austin to a conference in India, from research papers to traditional kitchens, from everything I thought I knew to everything I actually needed to learn. My husband found me that night sitting at the kitchen table surrounded by medical journals I'd pulled from my old files. He asked what I was doing. I told him I was looking for the answer I'd been giving women for 20 years, and finding out it didn't exist. The advice I'd been trained to give assumed a young body with balanced hormones. It never accounted for what happens when those hormones change. And here I was, living proof that everything I'd taught was incomplete at best, harmful at worst. Here's what happens in your body during menopause that changes everything about fitness and weight loss. When estrogen drops, your body's relationship with exercise completely transforms. Estrogen helps your muscles recover. It protects against inflammation. It tells your body to burn fat for fuel. Without adequate estrogen, intense exercise becomes a stress signal, not a fat-burning signal. Your body responds to that stress by releasing cortisol. And cortisol's job is to store fat, especially around your midsection. This is why the harder you exercise, the more belly fat you seem to accumulate. It's not in your imagination, it's biochemistry. But here's what most women don't know. There are compounds, many of them found in common spices, that can help bridge this gap. They work with your changed body instead of against it. Now, understanding this helps. But most women face an obstacle that makes it nearly impossible to break through on their own. After menopause, your body develops what researchers call thermogenic resistance. Your fat cells become less responsive to the normal signals that tell them to release stored fat. It's like they've put up a wall. You can exercise correctly, you can eat perfectly, and still see minimal results because your body has changed the locks on those fat cells. That's exactly why many women in our community have started using a specific compound that addresses this resistance directly. It combines concentrated Seville orange peel with therapeutic doses of Himalayan ginger and ceremonial green tea. These work together to help break through that metabolic wall. What makes it different from just eating these spices is the concentration. You'd need to consume impossible amounts to get the same effect from food. And because there are no harsh stimulants, it's safe for women our age. I'll leave a link in the pinned comment if you want to learn more about how it works. But regardless of what you choose, let me expose the 5 fitness myths that are keeping you stuck. Myth number 1. More cardio equals more fat loss. This is the most damaging fitness myth for menopausal women, and I see it everywhere. Women spending hours on treadmills, ellipticals, stair climbers, sweating, suffering, and wondering why their bellies keep growing. Here's the truth. Excessive cardio increases cortisol production. During menopause, when cortisol is already elevated due to hormonal changes, adding more through intense exercise creates a perfect storm for belly fat storage. A study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology found that women over 50 who did more than 5 hours of moderate cardio per week had significantly higher cortisol levels than those who exercised less. And that cortisol was directly correlated with abdominal fat. I used to do cardio for an hour every morning, 6 days a week. I thought I was being dedicated. I was actually sabotaging myself. When I cut my cardio to 3 20-minute sessions per week, something remarkable happened. My belly started to shrink. Not because I was burning more calories, but because I stopped triggering that cortisol response. What works instead? Short, focused sessions, 20 to 30 minutes maximum. Walking is excellent. Swimming is wonderful. Light cycling. Anything that moves your body without pushing it into stress mode. And here's a spice secret I learned in India. Ginger consumed before moderate exercise can actually enhance fat oxidation while reducing the cortisol response. A half teaspoon in warm water, 30 minutes before your walk, can make that walk significantly more effective. Myth number 2. You need to exercise every day to lose weight. Rest days are not optional, especially during menopause. They are essential. Your muscles need time to recover. Your hormones need time to stabilize. Your cortisol needs time to drop. When you exercise every single day, you never give your body the chance to adapt and recover. I used to feel guilty on rest days. Like I was failing, like I should be doing something. That guilt was misplaced. Those rest days were when my body was actually doing the work of repairing and rebuilding. Women over 50 need more recovery time than younger women. This isn't weakness, this is biology. Your muscle protein synthesis is slower. Your inflammatory response is higher. Pushing through without rest creates chronic inflammation, which makes weight loss nearly impossible. What works instead? 3 to 4 exercise sessions per week maximum, with at least 1 day between strength training sessions. Active rest on other days, like gentle walking or stretching, not intense workouts. During your rest days, focus on anti-inflammatory practices, turmeric in your food, adequate sleep, stress reduction. These aren't luxuries, they're part of your fitness program now. I tell women in our community to think of rest as an exercise. Schedule it like you would a workout. Honor it like you would a commitment. Because it's just as important. Myth number 3. Ab exercises will flatten your menopause belly. Oh, this one breaks my heart. Because I see women doing hundreds of crunches, planks until they shake, and wondering why their belly looks the same. Here's the truth about menopause belly. It's not a muscle problem, it's a hormonal and inflammatory problem. You can have strong abdominal muscles hidden under a layer of hormonally driven fat, and no amount of crunches will burn that fat away. Spot reduction is a myth at any age. But during menopause, it's especially cruel because the fat around your midsection is responding to hormones, not to local exercise. The belly fat that appears during menopause is often visceral fat. It's stored around your organs, not just under your skin. It's metabolically active, meaning it actually produces its own hormones and inflammatory compounds. And it responds to whole body interventions, not isolated exercises. What works instead? Full body strength training that builds overall muscle mass, walking that reduces cortisol, anti-inflammatory nutrition that addresses the root cause. When I stopped doing 50 crunches a day and started lifting weights twice a week, my belly finally started to change. Not because I was targeting it, but because I was changing my overall body composition and reducing inflammation. Add anti-inflammatory spices to every meal: turmeric, ginger, cinnamon. These address the inflammation that's driving that belly fat in ways that crunches never could. Myth number 4. High-intensity workouts burn more fat. HIIT workouts, CrossFit, boot camps, intense spin classes. They're marketed as the ultimate fat burners. And for younger people, they can be effective. But for menopausal women, high-intensity exercise often backfires completely. Remember what I said about cortisol? High-intensity workouts are designed to push you to your limits. That's exactly the stress signal that triggers cortisol release. And in a body already struggling with hormonal changes, that cortisol surge tells your fat cells to hold on tighter. I tried a HIIT program when I was 52. I was determined to push through the menopause weight gain. 6 weeks later, I had gained 6 pounds and felt worse than ever. I was exhausted, my joints hurt, and I was hungrier than I'd ever been. The irony is that lower intensity exercise often burns more fat during menopause. Your body can actually access fat stores when you're not in stress mode. When you're pushing to your limits, your body burns glycogen and then craves carbs to replace it. What works instead? Zone 2 cardio, where you can still hold a conversation. Strength training with moderate weights. Yoga and stretching that reduce cortisol while building strength. Movement that feels sustainable, not punishing. A 45-minute walk burns fat. A 30-minute HIIT session might spike your hunger and store fat. It seems backwards, but it's how menopausal bodies actually work. My trainer in India told me something that changed everything. She said gentle movement opens fat cells, intense movement closes them. It's simplified, but there's real biochemistry behind it. I watched women in their 60s and 70s in that village move slowly and deliberately through their days. They walked everywhere. They carried things. They squatted to cook and garden. No gym memberships, no intense workout classes. And they had lean, strong bodies that American women half their age would envy. Their secret wasn't exercise as we know it. It was consistent, gentle movement woven throughout the day, combined with anti-inflammatory spices in every single meal they ate. Myth number 5. If exercise isn't working, you're just not doing enough. This is the cruelest myth of all, because it keeps women trapped in a cycle of doing more and more of what isn't working. When the scale doesn't move, you add another workout. When the belly doesn't shrink, you push harder. And every time you escalate, you make the underlying problem worse. Your body during menopause needs a different approach, not a harder one. It needs less stress, not more. It needs recovery, not relentless effort. I spent 2 years in that trap. Every plateau led to longer workouts. Every frustration led to stricter diets. And I just kept gaining weight while destroying my body in the process. The day I finally let go of that mentality was terrifying. Cutting back felt like giving up. Resting felt like failure. But within 3 months of doing less, I had lost more weight than I had in the previous 2 years of doing more. What works instead? Listen to your body. If you're exhausted, rest. If a workout leaves you depleted for days, it's too intense. If you're not seeing results, don't add more. Change the approach. I had a client last year who was doing 2-a-day workouts and couldn't lose a single pound. I convinced her to try an experiment. 30 days of just walking and 2 strength sessions per week. She was terrified she'd gain weight. Instead, she lost 8 pounds that month. 8 pounds by doing less. Her body had been in chronic stress mode for years. When she finally gave it permission to relax, it finally gave up the fat it had been holding onto for protection. Sometimes, less truly is more, especially when your body is navigating the enormous hormonal shift of menopause. Let me share what I've learned works for women in our community. The women who successfully manage their belly fat during menopause share certain patterns, not intense workout schedules, not 6-day-a-week gym habits, something very different. They prioritize sleep over early morning workouts because sleep is when hormones regulate and fat burns. If you have to choose between a 5 a.m. workout and 7 hours of sleep, choose sleep. They walk daily, not power walking, not speed walking, just walking. 20 to 30 minutes of relaxed movement that reduces cortisol and improves insulin sensitivity. They strength train twice a week. Building and maintaining muscle is crucial for metabolism, but more isn't better. 2 quality sessions with rest in between is optimal. They focus on anti-inflammatory nutrition. Spices like turmeric, ginger, and cinnamon with every meal. Colorful vegetables, healthy fats, minimal processed foods. This addresses the inflammation that drives menopause belly. They manage stress actively. Meditation, deep breathing, time in nature, whatever works for them. Because stress is not separate from fitness during menopause, it's central to it. They stop comparing themselves to who they were at 30, or to younger women at the gym, or to fitness influencers half their age. They embrace the body they have now and work with it, not against it. They celebrate small victories, a better night's sleep, more energy in the afternoon, clothes fitting differently even when the scale hasn't moved. They understand that transformation during menopause looks different than it did before. And many of them support their changed bodies with targeted compounds that address thermogenic resistance directly. Now, I've shared a lot today. If you've been taking notes, you have a completely different framework for approaching fitness during menopause. But I want to be honest with you. Even with all the right approaches, many women find that their bodies remain resistant to releasing that belly fat. The thermogenic wall I mentioned earlier can be stubborn, especially for women who've been dieting and exercising intensely for years. That's why I mentioned earlier that concentrated compound with Seville orange peel, Himalayan ginger, and ceremonial green tea. It's designed specifically to address that resistance. Many women in our community use it alongside these gentler exercise approaches to accelerate their results. If you're curious, I'll leave a link in the pinned comment. It's not necessary for everyone. But for those who want additional support while they're changing their approach, it's worth looking into. Let me summarize what we've covered today. Myth 1. More cardio equals more fat loss. Truth is, excessive cardio raises cortisol and promotes belly fat storage during menopause. Myth 2. You need to exercise every day. Truth is, rest days are essential for recovery and hormone balance. Myth 3. Ab exercises flatten menopause belly. Truth is, belly fat responds to whole-body interventions and inflammation reduction, not spot exercises. Myth 4. High-intensity workouts burn more fat. Truth is, gentler exercise often burns more fat by avoiding the cortisol response. Myth 5. Not seeing results means you need to do more. Truth is, doing less of the wrong thing and more of the right thing is what works. You've been working so hard, following all the rules, pushing through the pain, and the rules were wrong. It's not your fault. The fitness industry wasn't designed with menopausal women in mind. The research focused on young men. The advice assumed hormones that you no longer have in the same amounts. But now you know better, and knowing better means you can do better. I wish someone had told me this at 51. It would have saved me 2 years of frustration, pain, and self-blame. It would have saved me thousands of dollars on programs that made things worse. It would have saved my knees, my back, and my spirit from the damage of overtraining. But I can't change what happened to me. I can only share what I learned so you don't have to go through the same thing. Your body isn't broken. It's asking for a different approach, gentler movement, adequate rest, anti-inflammatory support, stress reduction. Take one thing from today and implement it this week. Maybe it's cutting your cardio in half. Maybe it's adding a rest day. Maybe it's replacing that HIIT class with a long walk in nature. Whatever resonates, start there. And if this video opened your eyes to something you hadn't considered before, leave a comment below. Tell me which myth surprised you most. I read every single comment and love connecting with you. In my next video, I'm going to show you the specific spices that reduce cortisol and inflammation. Because what you put on your food matters as much as how you move your body. Until then, remember, your body hasn't betrayed you. The rules just changed. And now you have the real playbook. I'll see you in the next one.